Hello there friends, I'm Marley Bird and this is the Tournament of Stitches. In this video, I will walk you through sections 5 and 6 of the knitted version for this project. By this point, your piece looks a little something like this, and I hope you are as pleased with yours as I am with mine. I cannot even begin to tell you how happy I am with the way each mosaic section looks. I love the color combos I have picked out here, and I can't wait to see how all the sections come together. If you have not joined in the fun yet, it is not too late. Simply click on the link that I've provided in the video description box right down there below, or click that little I button right there. That will take you to the blog post for the Tournament of Stitches. In there, you will find a full list of the materials you'll need, the schedule that we are following, and at the bottom of the post, you will see the links for each section of this make-along. There is a crochet version and a knit version, so make sure you get the correct one. You can be caught up in this mystery make-along in no time. Seriously, grab those sections, get started today, and come and join the fun. In this video, we will go over sections 5 and 6 because those two sections mirror one another. So it makes sense to release those two sections at the same time. And it means we are at the midway point of this Tournament of Stitches project. Let's go ahead, grab that pattern, get your project that you have already worked up, and let's begin. I want to start off by looking at the chart for section 5. And the first thing I want you to notice is that in this particular mosaic stitch pattern, there is a lot of just one by one slip stitches that happen. And actually right up here on row 34, every other stitch is a slip stitch with the exception of these 3 right there that are in a row. The reason I want to point that out is because as you are working this mosaic stitch pattern, it is very easy to start to let the floats behind those slip stitches really pull in. So it's going to be very important that you keep those floats nice and relaxed to make sure that this section of your piece does not pull in and begin to pucker. Okay, you're really going to have to pay attention to it. The other thing I want to point out is as you're working on section 5 and you transition to section 6, I've folded the chart up here. Can you see how this motif goes down and around and up, and it's like it's an extension up to this part right here? I thought that just looked really cool. I loved how this little, it looks like it's a big square with this line in between bisecting it. I thought it was really neat. What you will notice is because this is 5, this is 6, this here is the center of your scarf. But if you wanted to, you could eliminate rows 1 through row 12 right here on section 6 and jump right into row 13. And what that would do, let's fold this piece of paper and take a look if we can. If you do that, you get a little bit of a different look. Can you see how that goes just like so? See how neat that is? So if you wanted to make it to where your section 5 and 6 were combined together, you could do that simply by eliminating rows 1 through 12 on section 6. Okay, can you see how that works up just like so? But if you're like me and you really like to have those bisected sections, like I love these bisected sections, then you can keep that in place and just carry on. But it made sense to me to combine sections 5 and 6 because they are mirrors of each other, right? This is just right there, this is right there. It just makes sense to me. So what we're going to do now is we will get started following along with our chart using our post-it notes to move up along the way. Let's get several rows in and then I'm going to let you go on your merry way and complete your piece on your own. I know we can work on this together. Why don't you join me? Grab your work and let's just knit together and have a little fun. Okay, I have already completed row 12, so I'm getting ready to begin row 13. So I'm going to grab my post-it note. I am blocking off all of the instructions above row 13, and I will complete rows 13 and 14. Now that I have the Post-its in place, I'm ready to grab my work. Don't forget that we have to transition to a larger needle. Grab my work. I have color C ready to go, and I will follow along with my pattern. So I knit the first stitch, and then I slip one. So I go into the stitches of to purl and slip it with my yarn in back. Now I need to knit 23. Once I get 23, I have another slip stitch. So I slip one. Now I'm going to knit down to the last 3 stitches. And don't forget that you can follow along with the chart or the written words, whatever works best for you. And if you ever are in doubt, always check the 2 to make sure that they are the same. All right, so the last 3 stitches, I slip one and I knit 2. Pretty simple stuff. I will now turn my work, and I want you to notice that I have my piece folded up on itself, and I'm going to try and keep it that way. It makes it so that it doesn't float all around the place and get caught up in my yarn and such. I'm also going to get rid of my smaller needles, and I always place those inside my color A because it reminds me that I need to change needles about the time I get back to that color. So I am ready to go here. I'm going to ignore my color B and continue with my color C here, and I will knit all the stitches that are with my color C and slip the ones that are in my color B. When I get to the end here, I'm back to where I will turn and I will be changing colors. So I like to drop my old and pick up my new, so I'll make sure I do that. And at the same time, I try and keep all of my yarn managed together so I don't get it all caught up. All right, so I'm going to have that, but I do have to move my Post-it note, so I will grab my chart here. I'm going to grab my pencil too because as I move this up to the next row on the chart, one thing I do want to point out, gosh, I really don't have to be that perfect, but it just bothers me. You'll notice down here I put a number 23, and that's because I needed to count those stitches right there so I knew how many to work between. So I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I have 21 right there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 right there. So I'm just doing that so that way I know as I'm working with the chart what those are. You guys have the written instructions. It's written in the written instructions as well. So if you want to double check and make sure those numbers are the same, you can absolutely do that. But let's go ahead and move on. We are on row 15, and this is with our color B. So once again, I'll make sure I have my color B ready to go. Move my yarn over there. And we are off. Okay, so we start off with knit 2. So knit 1 and knit 2. Now we slip 1. This is where I will knit 21. It's 21. Slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, and then knit 11. Now right here, this is where we want to make sure that these slips are not getting too snug, okay? We want to make sure that they are keeping their distance apart here, okay? Because this could really begin to pull in if we're not careful. And then I slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one. Okay. Those are going to be where our vertical lines really start to take shape. I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to work back, making sure that I'm knitting the same color as the yarn that's in my hand and slipping the ones that are of the opposite color. I know you can do the same. You really don't need to watch me do that. So I'm just turning my work, and I'm going to do that all the way down this row. When you get to the end of the row, simply turn your work, and doesn't look like much yet, but we are starting to get those vertical lines. So let's go ahead and grab our chart, move our Post-it note up, and follow the next row. Okay, moving this up, and I know I have a long section here that I will have to knit across. I don't really have to count it because I can see here that I knit across until it's like one stitch before the slip stitch from the previous row, but I like to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19, okay? And then right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's still 11 stitches right here. Okay, pretty easy stuff. Okay, now that we have it marked, let's move on to row 17. I'm going to pick up my work here, and I am using my color C. So I've got my color C in my hand, and we will begin. We start off with a knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one. Once again, make sure all of these floats are nice and relaxed, okay? We don't want those too tight. Now I will knit my 19, all right, so that's my 19. Here we go. We have a slip one, a knit one, a slip one. Now we have knit 11. Again, I'm making sure those are nice and spaced apart. There's my 11. So I slip one, knit one, slip one, knit two. Again, I want to make sure this is starting to look like it's coming in a little bit there. Can you see that? See how it's just ever so slightly? So I really need to make sure that I'm not letting those floats get too snug, okay? So let's turn our work. We will continue on with our wrong side row. We know how to work these rows, so I'm just going to jump ahead and get that part done. All right, looking good. Let's turn our work. See what we got. Again, still not looking like much yet, but it's really going to take shape here very soon. All right, I think I've done a really good job right here with making sure that that's not pulling in too tight now. Okay, let's grab our chart, move up the Post-it. Feel like you've got a really good sort of rhythm happening now, so I'm just going to work along. Feel free to use this time to work along with me. I'm just going to continue on working these rows and just get through this section. Join me, will you? So what do you think, you guys? Are you having fun so far? I am sitting here editing this video, and everything practically for the next 45 minutes I planned on just editing out. But many of you have been mentioning to me that you really enjoy just watching me knit and work through my progress as you guys are knitting along. So this is what I've done. I've added some music to the next 45 minutes of the video as I'm literally just knitting along section 5. When you get to about 1 hour and 5 minutes in the video, that's when I really start talking again, and I give you an option for what you could do when you get to rows 47 and 48. So this is what you can do at this point. Either sit back, relax, knit along with me and enjoy this really soothing music, or go ahead and skip forward to the 1 hour and 5 minute mark and see what I have to say there towards the end of the video. This is new, as I said, I'm giving it a try. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Is this something you're enjoying, or would you rather have had me just edit this out and just give you the nuts and bolts? I'm always trying to give you what you want, my friends. All right, sit back, relax, and enjoy. I want to pause right here and mention something. On this last row in the chart and in the written instructions, I have you continue doing those slip stitches. However, if you are a little bit compulsive about everything looking exactly the same from start to finish in each section, you can do these final 2 rows with your color B, just plain knitting back and forth. Make sure you switch to your other needles and continue on in pattern. If you want to continue with the instructions as they're written with those slip stitches, you could do that as well. So you have several options here. So let's recap. 1, you could just do the last 2 rows of this section with color B back and forth, plain, just like we've done all the other rows. Number 2, you can continue on with the pattern as written and then eliminate the middle, let's see, that would be the first rows 1 through 12 of section 6 and continue on keeping this entire stitch pattern in one big image. So that's your second option. Your third option is to do everything just as it's written. I'll totally leave this up to you. You decide what's best for your project. If you have lasted with me through this entire video, this is new. I've never done anything like this before where I've just gone silent and just knitted all the way around. Your work should look a little something like this. I am on my final row, so I have to use my color B here. And if you've noticed, I'm at the last bit of my color Bs. This is the last that I have of my first ball of my color B, and I'm almost out of my color C yarn color as well. So that's perfect timing. But from this point on, I am going to continue on and make mine with my color A in between my section 5 and section 6. I can't wait to see what you guys do with yours. Make sure you share with me on social media. Use hashtag MarleyBird or hashtag Tournament of Stitches so that way I can see your project, and be sure to smash your like button. If you're enjoying this Tournament of Stitches, please be sure to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and let me know that you are enjoying this. And if you want to do more projects like this using Mosaic stitches, I think they are a lot of fun. They open up a world of possibilities when it comes to color work and not having to do a Fair Isle stitching. And that's the same when it goes to knitting or crochet. The Crochet Tournament of Stitches is also doing a Mosaic version. If you haven't had a chance to check that out and you are a crocheter, I encourage you to do so. It's very unique, it's very fun, and you're gonna love it just as much as you love this one. Okay, good luck everybody. Finish up your section 5 and your section 6, tuck in those ends, and you will be ready for section 7. We are on the home stretch, people. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks so much for joining me on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit subscribe. I've put a link right over there, or you can watch a couple of the videos I've already selected for you right down there. If you want to follow me on social media, I've put my links right over there. You can have all Marley all the time. Bye guys.